So on the crossword puzzle here, A, our first step, we need to take out GCF. In this case, it would be 2x, which would leave us with x squared plus 12x minus 28. So we have 2x, and then we have x squared plus 12x minus 28. We need a factor. Two factors of negative 28 that add to give us 12 are 14 and negative 2. We need to set all the factors equal to 0. And that'll give me 0, negative 14, and 2 as my x-intercepts there. So this isn't perfect, but it is close to the drawing of what it would look like on the graph. All right, it's x cubed, so it would be increasing from left to right like that. It'd be going up from left to right, and it would be going through the x-axis at those points, okay? B, our GCF here would be 2x cubed. That leaves us with x squared minus 3x minus 28. Two factors of negative 28 that add to give me negative 3 are our x minus 7 and x plus 4. So I would set those factors equal to 0. And I would have 2x cubed equals 0. That's just going to be 0. X minus 7 equals 0. Gives me 7. X plus 4 equals 0. That gives me negative 4. Okay. All right, so I've got 0, negative 4, 7. I have x to the 5th. So again, it's an odd degree polynomial. So it's going to go up from left to right there, that shape. Yeah. Again, this isn't an exact graph, but it's a general shape of what the graph would look like there. Okay. C, x cubed minus x equals 0. We have a GCF of x. Leaves me with x squared minus 1 equals 0. X squared minus 1 is difference of squares. So that will be x times x plus 1 times x minus 1 equals 0. All three factors set equal to 0. All right. So we got x equals 0. Subtract 1 there. X equals negative 1. Add 1. We get x equals 1. So that, again, our original polynomial is x cubed. So that would be the general shape of the graph there. Next we have D. My GCF here would be 12. Oh, I'm sorry, you got to combine like terms. I moved over the 22x cubed. It makes it negative 22x cubed. Forgot about that. Combine like terms leaves me a 12x cubed minus 48x equals 0. And then the GCF there would be 12x, which I would leave you with x squared minus 4. X squared minus 4, we have difference of squares. So we have 12x times x plus 2 times x minus 2 equals 0. We set all three factors equal to 0. And we get x equals 0, x equals negative 2, x equals 2. So we have our original polynomial is x cubed. So that's our general shape, and it goes through negative 2, 0, and 2. E, we have 4x to the fourth minus 64x squared equals 0. My GCF there would be 4x squared, which that leaves me with x squared minus 16 equals 0. All right, again, x squared minus 16 is difference of squares. So I have 4x squared times x plus 4 times x minus 4 equals 0. I said all the factors equal to 0. 4x squared equals 0 is just going to be 0. Then we'd subtract 4 and get x equals negative 4. Add 4, get x equals 4. So the original polynomial is an even degree polynomial. So it's going to look more like a W shape. And we have a bounce point at 0 because that is squared. Remember, I like to say that's a bounce point. But again, that would be the general shape there. Next we have F. All right, so we can combine like terms here. We'd have 2x cubed plus 8x or plus 4x squared minus 96x. Okay, my GCF here would be 2x. Leaves me with x squared plus 2x minus 48. Two factors of negative 48 that add to give me 2 are 8 and negative 6. All right, so I'd set all three factors equal to 0. Solve 2x equals 0, that's x equals 0. X equals negative 8, x equals 6. All right, so again, it's an odd degree polynomial. Going up from left to right, going through negative 8, 0, and 6. So we have the general shape there. G, we have x cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 2. We don't have any like terms here. We have 4 terms. 4 terms we factor by grouping. Group, 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 group. GCF of that first group would be x squared, which would leave me with x minus 2. GCF of that second group is negative 1 because the leading coefficient's negative. So that leaves us with x minus 2 times x squared minus 1. Okay. And so x squared minus 1 is difference of squares. So we have x minus 2 times x plus 1 times x minus 1. So our zeros would be 2, negative 1, and 1. Okay. Our original polynomial was cubed, so we'd have that general shape. Okay. No bounce points there. H, 3 terms. We have a GCF of x squared. Leaves me with x squared minus 2x minus 15. We x squared, and then we have 2 factors of negative 15 that add to give me negative 2 are negative 5 and 3. So I have x squared equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0. So x squared equals 0 is just x equals 0. Remember, that's going to be a bounce point. We'll add 5, x equals 5. Subtract 3, x equals negative 3. So our zeros are at negative 3, 0, and 5. Okay, x to the fourth, we're going to get that W-type shape, our original polynomial. The original function, x to the fourth. So we get that W-type shape. And remember, we have a bounce point at x squared equals 0 because it's squared. Okay. Bounce. All right, dos mas. I, x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5x. I have a GCF of x. Leaves me with x squared minus 4x minus 5. Okay, so two factors of negative 5 that add to give me negative 4 are negative 5 and 1. Set all factors equal to 0. I get zeros of 0, 5, and negative 1. Negative 1, 0, and 5. Again, my original polynomial is x cubed, so we'll have that snake-type shape from going up from left to right. No bounce points there. And then last we have J here. X cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. We can't combine any like terms there. We have 4 terms, so we will factor by grouping. Group, 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 group. GCF of that first group is x squared. Leaves me with x minus 3. GCF of that second group is a negative 4, which leaves me with x minus 3. So I'll have x minus 3 times x squared minus 4 as my two factors. So x squared minus 4 is difference of squares. So I'll have x minus 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. So my zeros are 3, negative 2, and 2. Okay. All right, again, my original polynomial was x cubed, so we'll get that S shape. Or not that S shape, that snake-type shape. I put the 12 up real high. That y-intercept is 12. I don't have 12 on here. I just made it really high, just for it to be more like the actual graph there. So remember, you can always throw that in the calculator there to look at the general shape and get your zeros down, and you'll be pretty close there, okay?